Okay, so we're going to go ahead and build part number 16 from the shapes document. This document is available on the home page on Haiku. So this is number 16 on page 2. So what we need to do first is open up a blank part file in Inventor, a new part file. And where we're going to start on this shape is I'm going to start with the bottom base plate first. So looking at this bottom base plate, I need to build a base plate with overall dimensions 1 high. So the height is 1. The width is 8. So it's 8 across the front of this base. And then it has a depth of 5. So 1 by 8 by 5 rectangle is where I'm going to start with this object. So let me open up a new part file here. Standard IPT, create. Alright, now we're ready to go. So start sketch. I'm going to start this on the XY plane. I go to the rectangle tool, start from the origin. Okay, my width is 8, so I'm going to type in 8 as the width, 1 as the height. So far I've got 8 by 1, and then extrude that to a depth of 5. Zoom out and see what we have. So there's our base. Alright, now from the base I need to build up. So I'm going to go ahead and start another sketch, and I'm going to look at it like this is the front of the object. This would be the back of the object. So I want to rotate it so you're looking at a top, right, back view. So if you look at your view cube, you've got top, right, and back. And you're going to start another sketch on the back side of the object. Okay. Now, looking at our picture, we need to build the middle part of this object is going to have a height from the base going all the way to the top. The height will be 9. The overall height of the object is 10, but that includes the 1 from the base. So from the top of the base to the top of the object is 9. So here's how I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to go back to Inventor, and I'm going to use the rectangle tool. I'm going to start another rectangle going from this top left edge of the current rectangle I have. Okay, and it's going to be the same width as the other one, so it's got to be a width of 8 and a height of 9. So I've got an 8 by 9 rectangle now. Okay, now before we extrude that, we're going to refine it a little bit. So this is looking at it three-dimensionally. This is what we've got. So I've kind of got the base plate there, and this is we're looking at it from the back side again. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and start by building the curves right in here for the object. So if I look at the picture here, going from the center mark, if I count the number of cubes over to the edge of that curve, it's 2. So that means that curve has a radius of 2. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to start with the circle tool. I'm just going to build the random circle inside here. It has to have a radius of 2, which means it has a diameter of 4. So go ahead and build the circle just anywhere inside that rectangle with a diameter of 4. Hit enter. Okay, and let's go ahead and do one more inside the circle again with a diameter of 4. So one on each side. Okay, it's okay if like this one goes outside a little bit. We're going to have to do that in a little bit anyway. Alright, hit the escape button. Now, what we need to do is we need to set this circle so that the curve actually starts in this point here and starts to curve upward. So half of the circle is going to be inside, half is going to be outside. So here's how I'm going to take care of that. First, I'm going to set it this middle point. So I'm going to use the dimension tool. Click dimension, click the center line, or the center point of the circle, and then this outer edge line. Notice it'll pop up with a dimension, and that I want to be 0. So in other words, I want that center mark to be right on that line. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. So dimension from the center to the outer edge, type in 0, enter. Alright, now we need to get these circles to be shifted down so that they're touching this bottom line. So the way we're going to do that is you're going to hit escape, deselect the dimension tool, and then right here you're going to select the tangent constraint. Okay, the tangent constraint is going to make the circle tangent to this bottom line. So I'm going to select the circle, select the bottom line, and notice it shifts that circle down so it's tangent on that bottom line. Same thing with this one on the right hand side. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. Alright, now from here I need to build up, and then I'm going to have another arc curving towards the top, back down, and meets with this circle. So before I get that far, I'm going to go ahead and trim a little bit. It won't let me trim unless I get rid of my dimension. So hit escape, and then you can right click on the dimension and delete those dimensions that we set, just so we can trim here in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those. Why don't we go ahead and delete the 9x8 dimensions too for the rectangle. So that's what we've got. Now I should be able to trim, hit the trim tool, trim off that outer edge of the circle since we don't really need that. The rest we'll leave for now. And then I'm going to build a line. So the line, I want to make sure that line is extending straight across. So see how that when I move my mouse kind of along the circle, it'll line up with this center mark. That's where I want it to be lined up with. So I'm going to start from that center point and make sure I go straight up 90 degrees. I'm going to go all the way to the top. So I should have a length of 7. Same thing on the left hand side. Make sure it's lined up to the center. Straight up 90 degrees. There we go. Okay, and then hit the escape button. Alright, next you can do a circle again. We need another arc here, so we're going to use a circle tool and then trim it like we did down below. This one I want to be centered, so make sure your circle when you start is centered within these two lines, and then go ahead and extend it out to the other lines, which should automatically give you a dimension of 4. If it doesn't give you a dimension of 4, you'll have to type in 4 and hit enter. Otherwise I can just click. Okay, hit escape. Now, notice again, I need to line these circles, the circle up with this top edge. So just like we did below, we're going to use the tangent tool, tangent constraint, and make the circle tangent to the top line. Hit escape. Okay, now just to make sure it shifted it the way we wanted to, let's go ahead and set the dimension for this top line. Now, see, now it's reading 9.125. The rectangle should just have a height of 9. So when we set that tangent, it actually shifted the rectangle up instead of shifting the circle down. So we need to set that dimension to be 9, hit enter. Now it shifts everything back down the way it should be. Okay, now we can go ahead and hit escape, and we can trim some of the excess stuff again. So I can trim some of this circle there and there. I can trim this top piece there, this top piece there, and this middle piece there. So we've got the profile of that curve, just like that. Okay, now what we can do is we can go ahead and extrude just this center part. So I'm going to hit extrude, the E quick button, and select that middle piece. Notice it's going in the opposite direction of the base, so I want to change the direction, direction 2. And I don't want to extrude it the entire length of the base. All I want to do is extrude it 2 units, since that's what the picture has here. So I'm going to extrude 2 units, hit enter. Alright, getting close. Now we've got the base with this upper part. We need to extrude a little bit more off the top of this upper part, so we're going to start a new sketch. Click on that top, click on that front surface. So now notice I'm sketching on the front of my object on this surface here. So that's my front view. What I'm going to do is I'm going to project geometry. I'm just going to project this top arc. Now notice it shows up with the center point of that arc as well as this yellow line where that arc is. So I'm going to actually create a circle that matches the center and the arc. Now we've got an entire circle there. Okay. before I extrude, let's go ahead and take a look at it, make sure everything looks like it needs to be. Go ahead and extrude it then, and this should, since this back part had an extrusion of 2, this should have an extrusion of 3 to get it to be lined up flush with the base. So extrude that 3. Alright, now we're getting pretty close. The only thing we have left is the hole in the top, the 2 holes in the base, and then the curved edges of the base. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and start a sketch. Let's go ahead and do this top hole first. Okay, now we've already got kind of our our origin right in the center there, which is kind of nice. So all I need to do is put a point right on that origin. Okay, and then I can finish sketch, and then use the hole tool, and it'll automatically select that point we just made. We just need to set the diameter. Looking at the document, the diameter looks like it's 2. So we're going to type in our diameter is 2. Make sure its termination is set to go through all, and then hit OK. And that sets the hole to go through all. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom base here. So go ahead and start sketch. Okay. Now here there is no specified location for our points, so that's what we've got to specify. So we're going to set the point. We're just going to put a point kind of randomly there and another point randomly over here. And we need to set those 2 points to be in the location we want them. So looking at this diagram, it looks like it's about 1.5 from each edge. So 1.5 horizontally and depth, or against the depth here. So if I go back to my sketch, I need to set those dimensions. So use the dimension tool, click on the point to the bottom line, dimension set 1.5, and then the point to the right hand line, oops, try that again, dimension from the point to the right hand line, also 1.5. Okay, and then same thing with this point, so from point to the left edge, 1.5, and from the point to the bottom edge, also 1.5. Okay, now we can finish sketch. Click on the hole tool. Notice it automatically selects both of those points. Our radius, or excuse me, the diameter needs to be set to be 1 unit. So set the diameter to be 1. There's our holes in the base. And last thing we need to do is round off these front edges. So there, we're just going to use the fillet tool. Click on both edges. I'm looking at the diagram. Looks like that front rounded edge has a radius of 1, so that's where the curve starts. Okay, to where if I extend both of those points, it has 1 cube distance. So it's going to have a radius of 1. So I'm going to type in my radius is 1. And there I've got my rounded edges. And there you have part number 16.